In the sun, we're hovering at around 45. And the soil is pretty pliable, which is a good sign, which means we're just about ready for pre-emergent. Like literally. If you're in an area and it stays like this, go for it. Especially if the soil's already pliable. Now, we can go off that one reading, but just to have a little fun, let's check the shade. Check it out. A little colder, obviously, because we're in the shade. But 43.2, 42.8. That's pretty good. If you live in an area where, again, we're not quite at 55 yet, we kind of use that as a guided measure. If you're not at 55 yet, but you know the temperatures aren't going to be dipping below freezing and the soil is soft, pre-emergent time, go for it. We've done videos on that. But anyway, also to back this up, before anybody comments anything saying, it's a little early where you're at to be applying anything to the lawn. Well, I checked the Greencast tool, and I put in my county, and I checked the current temperatures were hovering around the same for the day averages and today's average and all that stuff. And I also checked the bar graph. Now, one thing I've noticed this year is we're on a rapidly warming trend. We're unseasonably warm compared to previous years, and because of that, we're going to be rolling pretty quickly. But in the meantime, I want to have some fun with my Provista projects. We're at the Provista project here, March 2nd, 2024. Let's take a look at it. Color-wise, we're not going to see a whole lot because we're still somewhat in dormancy, but we've been having unseasonably warm weather conditions over the last couple of weeks, and because of that, things, although not fully waking up, they're starting to wake up. If we come down here and take a look, you can see we're still pretty dormant, but we do have some green starting to poke through. That's a really good sign. So I would say things came in very well over the last year and a half since we seeded this in 2022. We have a long way to go. We still have some areas here that need to fill in. It's going to be way more prevalent in the back, but I would say it's doing pretty good. Now you'll see what I mean in a second here, because when we come to the back, it's pretty full. It looks way more full than it did before, but it's still got kind of a patchy look to it. See, if you come right here, you can see we still got some dirt that's wide open. And yeah, for the most part, that's what we're looking at all around. So yeah, this is the back, looking pretty good. This area right here is my favorite part of the back. There's just something about it. It filled in really nice over the last year. This right here is what we want the rest to look like. And with what we're going to be initiating today, that's going to take place multiple times throughout the year. I don't think that'll be a problem. And then coming along here, this looks pretty good too. Again, I'm not really looking at color right now because we're still dormant. But we're going to be doing something today to, it's a little experimental. I don't mind admitting when I've made a mistake. You see, I didn't make any mistakes that were fatal to my Provista seed project, but I think one of the mistakes I made very early, if anything, was not going hard enough at it to help it develop faster. So I want to make up for that. Now, one way I'm going to do that today, actually, again, it's very warm, temperatures are not going back down. That's why I'm starting early. I just want to get that, just want to clear the air, okay? One of the ways we're going to do that is we're actually going to hammer it with some urea. Okay. Got the big dog, we got the permagreen out here. So, just to give you an idea, when I finished off last season, I don't recommend you do this, I recommend you try and get it empty if you can. But in this case, we got some material left over. As we'll see here, we got some straight 4600 urea left in there. Got some left over, and because the Provista is still in a very growing, not yet fully established state, I want to go ahead and give it a little extra help this year. We're going to be doing it with what I got in here. 46% urea, fast release. So we got some warm temperatures coming. Seems fitting. Let's do it. So far, so good. Now, if I were doing this with liquids or pesticides, I'd be wearing gloves. But because I'm just doing granular and it's urea and it's not harmful, we're good. Just figured I'd clarify that again. Boom. In the pro side of things, because I have a spray business up here, we're going to be starting in like, I don't know, 2 weeks actually, believe it or not. Normally we'd be waiting until early April because we'd be getting snow around this time, but because we're on a warming trend that doesn't seem to be going back down anytime soon, we're set on mid-March to begin our pre-emergence. So yeah, it just goes to show this is an abnormally warm year, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of digging it because I'm tired of being cooped up, as I'm sure all of you are. So yeah, tons to come, folks, tons to come. But in the meantime, if you want to learn a little bit more about pre-emergence, which pre-emergent to choose, I recommend you check out these videos here. They'll give you some guidance to hit the ground running in 2024.